Hello, I'm Sandy, and I'm going to go through the Bible in 1 year tonight. It's my turn, so I'm going to have a go. I've just come back from the Shine conference in Newport. We had a marvelous time, and great worship, great word, and it's just awesome. What we did was it was basically about fear, and 2 Timothy 1:7 tells us that God did not give us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And we take her all on board. We listen to everything they got to say, and it's all excited, and we can't wait to get back and get using all this stuff. And I came home and buzzing, and then last night I was asked to do this, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't think I can do this. I haven't done anything quite like it before. And I thought, no, I've sat there, I've heard the word, I've declared to God that I'm going to be better and I'm not be frightened and go out boldly for him. And so here I am, and I'm going to do it. So just hope that encourages you when it's your turn, because this isn't easy. But here we go. So we're on Exodus chapter 33 verse 7 to chapter 34 verse 35. Sorry, chapter 34 verse 35. Tent and meeting. Now this is all quite hard, so I've taken out of it what I can, and I hope you can stay with me. So what does it take to be a great leader? Well, Moses was a great leader. So does it take looks? Are you best at everything? Popular? No. All Moses cared about was being obedient and pleasing God. If you think about it, he was only leading the people in the first place because God had called him, and he didn't feel equipped to do it, but he told God, no, Lord, get someone else. And God said, you can do it, I'll be with you. And so much like me tonight, so he's leading these people. And today, if you've been chosen by God for whatever reason, all we should care about is pleasing him and remaining in his favor, which was what Moses cared about. So how awesome this is now to be able to talk to God face to face. This is what happened to Moses. He went into the tent of meeting, and the people had to stay by their tents and watch him go in. And he was the only one who could go in and speak with God, spoke to him. So that was an awesome thing, that privilege for him. But that wasn't enough for Moses. In Exodus 33 verse 18, he says to God, now show me your glory. Well, what a great prayer that would be for anyone who has fallen into complacency today. And we all do sometimes, but what a great prayer. And what I really love about Moses was he wasn't looking for approval from the people. He just stood up for what was right, even when it made him unpopular. And he just wanted to please God and to lead the people as he'd asked him to. But we see here that Moses just content in God, and he saw it as the privilege to be in relationship with him, and he didn't go about boasting to the people and showing off because he was the one meeting with God in the tent and they weren't. But we just thank God tonight that we don't have to stand outside our tents, that we're meeting, that we can meet with God, and we're free to meet with him because of Jesus. So then we move on to the New Testament. Now this one's really difficult. It's Mark 7 verses 1 to 30, and it's the clean and the unclean. And I really had difficulty with this one, but here goes. Right. When I looked at it, I thought, is Jesus really saying here that it's okay to eat without washing our hands? And I was like, no, I don't really think this is what it's about. So I had a better look at it. And we see in the scriptures that the Pharisees had developed many rules to interpret the law. And 2,000 years later, in churches today, we still have rules, ceremonies, and traditions that they just tell us that if we do this, we do it this way, it'll make us right with God. But Jesus, he's not interested in rules. He doesn't want us jumping through hoops. He just wants us to jump into his arms, his loving arms, where he's always there for us. So she's saying that if we try to earn God's love today, forget it. Jesus says to us, just come as you are. Just leave and come as you are. He's waiting for us. And in chapter 14, verse 23, Jesus talks again about this being clean and unclean. It's hard work. It's really hard work keeping ourselves right with God. But if we try and keep our hearts clean and face temptation, we will not be so affected by it. It doesn't enter into us and feed on us. And that's what Jesus did. He was tempted in every way, and yet Jesus didn't sin. Jesus was without sin. And although Jesus lived in the same world that we live in, he was not frightened of the different types of the people and the circumstances and the needs that came his way. He was sure of who he was and what he needed to do. And he changed lives and he changed circumstances and situations, but they never changed Jesus. Jesus kept himself clean. Only good and pure things flowed out of him. And that is the goal for us. Well, we might not be able to do it straight away, all in one go, but if we just try really hard, our Father will be pleased with us and he will bless us. So then in verse 26, we now see the story of the Canaanite woman. She's a Gentile woman, and this is a beautiful story. She's so desperate and determined to receive healing for her daughter. Her daughter was demon possessed. She must have been at her wit's end to get this healing for her daughter who she loved so much. And her faith was really strong, and she just knew that only Jesus was the answer to this. She humbled herself in recognition of it. And then in that humility, we see Jesus act. And if we note here, in verse 28, she replies to Jesus, "Yes, Lord." And note she says to him, "Yes, Lord." That's how she addresses him. So our response is critical to see and experience the miraculous as she did. And in verse 29, Jesus says, "For such a reply, you may go. For such a reply, you may go. The demon has left your daughter." Wow. How will you reply to Jesus today? Will you say, "Yes, Lord"? Will you say, "I can't be bothered, Lord"? Will you say, I want to watch the telly, Lord"? Will I love you, Lord"? Will you say, "I turn away from the sin, Lord"? But one thing's sure, he's still waiting for some of us to reply tonight. Oh, well, that was pretty hard, but whatever you can get out of that tonight, I just pray that you will. So, good night, and thank you very much. Bye.